welcome back to the Tegiwa YouTube channel. Fresh off the back of our GR Yaris exhaust test, today we're doing an intake test. So we've got 7 different filters here today, ranging from open ones, closed ones. We've got Sprint, Eventuri, HKS, MST, ITG, Airtec, GruppeM as well, and we've got a Cyvex all-wheel drive diff controller as well that we're going to use on the dyno, so we can put it in burnout mode and take some figures. What do you think is going to perform well today, Matt?
Well, on the road, I think that the enclosed ones are going to be good. We've got the Eventuri and the Sprint, which we've already seen from other Yaris owners, giving really good gains. So keen to see what they do, but depends what you want, really, doesn't it? If you want the noise, then you can't beat an open filter, can you?
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting because people go for intake. Like, there's a few reasons, isn't there? Sound, the visual appeal, and also the performance. So there's 3 different factors there, and they start from £400 up to 1,300, I think. So there's a few different options there. So we're going to start unboxing some, do some data logs on the standard filter, and jump right in. So let's get on with it.
So the GR Yaris, as we all know, is a 4-wheel drive car, but they are notoriously hard to dyno in 4-wheel drive mode. So unfortunately, here we only have a 2-wheel drive dyno. So to make it a 2-wheel drive Yaris, we've got this Cyvex powertrain control unit here. This is a quick install into the boot, and it enables the rear diff to uncouple when we pull the handbrake. So we can just dyno it just with the front wheels on to make it super simple and super reliable. So we're going to chuck that on, get the standard car on the rollers now and see what it's making. Right, this is my GR Yaris, and here is a standard airbox. So first of all, just a quick disclaimer, you might notice this box in the corner. It's a DT UK Stage 1 tuning box. It is going to be disconnected for all of these because I know that most people won't run something like this. So we do have this blanking connector that's just basically bypassing that box and letting it all run as it was standard. So just ran it up with this standard airbox in place. It's around 277 horsepower, which is great. So that means that it does have an ITG panel filter in here, and the GPF delete from the exhaust test, I kept that on the car. So 20 horsepower overclaimed, which I'm really happy with. So some of the airboxes that we have today finish here, which is just at the end of this flexi pipe here, and some of them go all the way to the turbo elbow, which is going to make things a bit toasty for me, but that's okay. And so the standard airbox has a little feed here that just comes from this little vent in the grille. The standard one though, if you look underneath it, it's got holes in it. So some of the air path's a complicated thing, but some of the air, as far as I can see, that comes in here can just go straight out again. So a lot of the air boxes that we've got have a dedicated feed that fills this sort of void here, and hopefully should provide some good gains. So the MAF housing on this, we've got not too much of a lead up to it in a straight, but we'll pop the airbox lid off in a second and have a look. Afterwards we've got a nice straight pipe here. So what's important is that we get a similar sort of effect on the other airboxes for this to work as it was originally intended. It's okay to have it on a bend, it's okay to have it wherever you like, as long as it's sort of kept consistent, because you can calibrate your, the standard, manufacturers will calibrate their standard map to suit this in a particular orientation or direction. So we'll see. I think this is going to be the biggest effect, how we can make sure, how we can get the air smoothly past this and keep it repeatable. So right, so let's have a look at the under the airbox lid. So as mentioned, I do have an ITG panel filter in this. So as we can see, there's not an awful lot there before the before the MAF, so air's just going to be not the straightest, but again, Toyota have calibrated it to that, so we should be okay. And as I say, a lot when we were doing on the unboxing, especially the Eventuri, they've done a lot of CFD, a lot of their own testing, so expecting that to work really well. So we'll get this removed now, and then the MST is the first one that's going on.
Okay, so the first system that we're going to be unboxing is the MST Performance one. Shout out to MST, they gave us this for this test specifically, so keen to see how this one performs. This one retails at £409, and this is an open filter. So we're going to unbox it, see what's inside. Yeah, let's go.
Tino. Shout out to Tino. Tino.
Air freshener, sick.
Put that in there.
Tropical fruit as well. I'm well impressed.
Only 5 a day.
So we've just unboxed the MST Performance intake. Looks fantastic straight out of the box. Couple of hard pipes there, 2 silicone joiners, finished in like a wrinkled black finish, and well impressed. We've got an air freshener, tropical fruit. That's way better than a sticker. We like that.
And even though it's an open filter, we do have this heat shield here that, well, shields it from the heat, I suppose. So it's nice to see on an open filter, because a lot of these, you're sitting in traffic and the heat in the engine bay is just going to keep rising, and it's going to feel sluggish when you move off, but hopefully this should reduce that. Another thing that I like is the fact that this pipe here is nice and straight. That's really important to get accurate airflow readings. I used to work here at Tegiwa, but now what I do is I work on prototype diesel and hydrogen engines, and one of the things that I've picked up from there is how important it is to get a nice straight flow of air past an airflow meter to make sure that it's accurate, so that's nice to see.
Yeah, and finally we've got some Jubilee clips here. We've actually got a sticker. It's like a hard sort of sticker. It's nice, actually.
And good, pretty thorough instructions, plenty of pages there. There is already a really detailed fitting video for this on YouTube by another Yaris GR owner, so if we skip over anything in this video, have a look at that one, it makes it really clear.
Yeah, MST claim 14 horsepower gain with this, so that's pretty interesting. So we're going to get it strapped to the car, put it on the dyno, see if that figure makes what they say.
Right, so the MST is fitted, we've had a dyno run. Fitting wise, not too bad, took me about an hour. I have left a couple of the bolts out because we are flying through these, to be fair, getting through them as quick as we can. But the hardest part about it is the plastic pipe that's on the back of the engine there, especially if your engine's screaming hot and it's just come off a dyno run like this one. But the actual kit, the quality and the fitment of the kit is great. It's nice heat shielding around this open filter, so even though it is an open filter, still get a good amount of shielding from the rest of the bay, and it fits nicely up to the bonnet. Dave's written some figures down in Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, so the stock car, obviously it's got a Fujitsu exhaust on it.
On a GPF delete.
And a GPF delete.
An ITG filter.
And an ITG filter. Yeah, that was the stock run. So the car made 277 horsepower with 272 foot-pounds of torque. And this, surprisingly, made 289.2 horsepower and 274.6 foot-pound of torque. So MST claimed that there's a 14 horsepower rise with this kit, and it made 12. So
yeah, test to test variation. If we'd run a few more runs, it might well have hit that.
yeah,
Really impressed with that. You get all the benefits of a open filter with this. So you get more noise, more spoolie noise, more blow-off valve noise, and it's the cheapest one here, and it's already given us 12 horsepower.
and you get an air freshener.
And an air freshener and stickers.
I thought it sounded pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, it was a lot of sneezers, but it wasn't like overly sneezy,
No, it's fine.
if that's a sneezometer gauge.
Yeah,
But yeah, I rate this.
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, now we're going to fit the ITG, whip this one off and put the ITG Maxogen kit on it. Okay, so this is the ITG Maxogen intake kit. This retails at £474, and this is the cheapest enclosed kit that we're testing today. So let's unbox it and see what's inside.
Now that's single-use plastic a bit over the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
Come on, lads. It's 2022.
Okay, so we've just unboxed the ITG. Not that much to it. Obviously your air filter's in here. It's got a nice ITG logo on there. Nice hard pipe. I mean, gave us a business card. We don't really want a business card. I want an air freshener, like MST gave us. Like, I'm all for that. No, and a lot of plastic in the box. Like Matt said, it's 2022. Single-use plastic. What the hell, man?
We do have this nice scoop. The factory airbox has a scoop, as you'll see on that video. So should be nice direct airflow. No claimed gains on this one, is there? So
no.
we'll see what it does.
Yeah. We've got a heat shield as well here.
I think that is a bit of a heat shield, but mainly just the bracket that this is going to sit on.
Okay.
I think.
So underneath.
Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, really nicely made, powder coated black with nice rubber seals on, so nothing's going to rattle.
Okay, let's go.
Right, ITG just done. Fits fine. They're pretty generic kits. Yeah, no problems. All uses the original flexi here, and then it's got its own scoop. The scoop could have fitted a little bit better, to be honest. I could only get one clip in it, so with a Dremel you could get it to fit. But yeah, it was all right. It was okay.
I'm kind of disappointed in this one. When you actually look at it, there's like 3 different textures and colours going on. So from like a visual point of view, it's not the best looking, but it does make a really nice noise. I was happy with the noise that it made. Yeah. From a performance point of view, there was an increase from stock. It made 284.1 horsepower with 268.1 foot-pounds of torque, which was actually less torque than the stock airbox.
It's stock though, but it might have made more a bit further down or further up or down the rev range.
Yeah,
but
so that was sort of
so it does still make a 6.5-7 horsepower gain.
Yeah, but then this is the second cheapest kit that we're testing. So
and it also uses the most OEM bits so far.
Yeah.
So everything from here back is standard. So we've only changed these few bits. Everything else uses a big fat pipe there and does away with the standard acoustics.
Yeah, so this is the cheapest enclosed, and it's also not a ball ache to fit.
No, you could fit it, other than just maybe, let's say, sorting the alignment out on these 2 little clip holes here, which aren't crucial. yeah, you'll get it done in an hour, if that.
Yeah. Anyway, on to the next one. Okay, so the next one is the Airtec system. This retails at £599, just a little smidge over, I think. This is an enclosed system. We were going to unbox it, but there is no box, so we're going to unplastic it. Comes in two different pieces, so let's unpack it.
Done.
Okay, so just unplasticed it, and yeah, got a couple of silicone joiners here, hard pipes, nice finish on this, nice Airtec logo, and nice gel Airtec sticker on the front of the intake.
Yeah, we've got some instructions with it. Something that's interesting, I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make. We saw on the MST how long the MAF housing pipe was on this. It's quite short, so whether it hooks up additionally to that, whether some turbulence will happen, I don't know what effect it's going to have. It'd be interesting to see.
No air freshener again though?
No. No, they've really set the bar there, didn't they?
I mean,
set the bar high.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to get that with the...
I'm going to be disappointed for the rest of this video, to be honest, after.
Yeah.
Well done, MST.
Airtec has been dyno tested. Fitting wise, it's not quite as nice to fit as the MST. Similar sort of thing with the pipe around the back. The pipe does bolt on, which is a nicer idea at the back before the turbo elbow. But we've got a fair few bits where it just sort of like
a bit wobbly, isn't it?
Clips in rather than bolts in, so you could just pick the whole thing up if you wanted. I'd prefer a bolt-in solution like the MST, but overall, stable state, still made good power, didn't it?
Yeah, so this made 289.3 horsepower with 275.9 foot-pounds of torque. So it is the best so far, but it's also, you know, 130 quid more expensive than the MST we've just tested. So
if you're super precious about getting an enclosed one, then yeah, you can fit that and certainly not lose anything. It does still sound good, yeah, it's difficult to justify the MST right now, isn't it?
Probably didn't sound as loud as the MST either, but that's probably because it's enclosed. But Airtec do an open one as well. We're not testing it today, but that is an option if, you know, that's probably going to be cheaper as well. So yeah, on to the next one. Okay, so next up is the HKS intake system, racing suction intake system, may I point out. This is an open filter, I believe, and this retails at £936. So pretty expensive for an open kit compared to some of the others. Let's open it. That was sick, you know.
Was it?
Yeah.
But what we can't show you is how it smells.
Like cat piss.
It doesn't smell great because it's carbon fibre. Quite carcinogenic, actually.
That one looks.
Yeah, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, so we've just unboxed it, and first things first, that's snazzy. It is. I like that.
Yeah, this is an iconic HKS mushroom we've all seen on Japanese cars since forever, really. Some really nice carbon bits along with it as well.
Yeah, so the heat shield's carbon. Well, heat shield, yeah, that is a heat shield. That is a really nice carbon.
Yeah, really nice, really light.
We've got a sticker, Banks HKS. There's loads of hardware here as well, and I did think I was going to have to learn Japanese to read the instructions, but if you flick to the back it's in English, so kudos.
Yeah, another fairly short MAF housing design. I think that's going to be fairly common on these, so again, see what effect that makes. And yeah, it should sound great, they always do.
Whoosh.
That is the HKS Carbon Racing Suction Kit fitted and dynoed. Fitting wise, it was okay. I mean, after we did the exhaust test, the HKS exhausts were the best, weren't they? We really enjoyed them. This is just sort of your, everyone knows the HKS mushroom. It fits good, there's no real big issues with it, but you can tell it's just a bit like the ITG. It's the same kit that's been used to, it's been modified a bit. The heat shield is good. I'll be honest, I've cheated a little bit. There's lots of Meccano type brackets that come with it. I've only fitted one because we're in a bit of a rush, but it fits really nicely, and there's some extra little foam bits that would go on if it was staying on the car. But yeah, it did make a nice little gain in the mid-range, about 4,000 RPM, and not too much up top.
Yeah, so this has actually made the least power out of them all so far. So 282.1 horsepower, but it did make the most torque. So 280.8 foot-pounds of torque, and none of the others are in the 280s. And for me, this one does look mint.
Yeah, it looks proper, doesn't it?
Yeah, like it's lovely finish on the carbon.
Yeah, definitely.
Red's the fastest colour. Yeah, and it sounds, if you want whooshy, if you want noise, this has got to be your go-to option.
By far the loudest.
Yeah. Obviously, there's only two open intakes on this test, and this is one of them. Obviously, it's quite high price, but yeah, it makes good noises.
Although the carbon's really nice and high quality, you can tell it doesn't box in the filter as well as the MST does.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that's where we noticed that, before the run, when it was just sat here heat soaking away, the first run was a bit down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But when we ran it another time with fresh air through it, it was better.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Overall, we like this one. It's a good option. Okay, so just over the £1,000 mark now with this intake, the Eventuri system, £1,248 I believe it retails at. Eventuri claim a plus 15 brake horsepower increase and 18 foot-pounds. So quite a bold claim. We're interested to see whether that lives up to that claim. Well, we're going to unbox it, see what's inside.
Oh, that's nice as well. Look at that.
Wow.
Whoa.
Now this is sick. We're having a good time now.
Yeah, you're getting what you pay for here, aren't you?
Okay, so we just unboxed it. This is a gloss carbon system. They do a matte carbon as well, but straight away, this is, you get what you pay for. The finish on the carbon's stunning. Yeah, it's just all really nice, and I'm super impressed because we've got, I can't count, 7 stickers here, and one of them's a 3D gel V for Eventuri. So mint. And Eventuri's marketing team are amazing. They've always got top-notch photos. I'm a bit of an Eventuri fanboy really, but yeah, the quality really does speak for itself.
And also they've got a really nice video on their channel which shows the development process of this, all the CFD, all of that stuff here. you know, it shows. It's really, really good. They've got their own car that they've tested on. They know it works. So keen to see what it does. So this is the first design where the MAF housing is part of the actual airbox, just like it is a standard, I think.
It's on the straight bit as well.
So yeah, so it all funnels down into that. Really nice sort of taper down. So should flow really, really well. And again, that's what they've been, you know, that's how it's been designed and modelled on their system. So yeah, really keen to see what this one makes.
Yeah, and if you are someone that's looking for an intake, you know, that's looking for something that's going to look good under the bonnet, then yeah, straight away this one I think is going to look good. But obviously it comes at a price.
At the recent Tegiwa Yaris meet, a couple of guys had these. As soon as the bonnets come open, that's it. Everyone's having a look around, aren't they? Because they do look really, really good.
Yeah. So strap this to the car and see how we get on.
Eventuri on and Dynode. I've got to say, fitment wise, this thing's fantastic. It lines up so well, and so many things on it are really well thought out. It uses the standard rubber mounts for the standard airbox, which are a really nice touch, and everything's just really well thought out. I can't really say much more than that, really. Yeah, like we've got a little clip on here on the pipe at the back to put the vac line on, so it's not just hanging around like it has been on every other intake so far. Yeah, really happy, and it delivered what it said as well, didn't it, pretty much?
Yeah, so Eventuri claimed extra 15 horsepower over the standard, and it did an extra 14, so 291 horsepower it's just made with 276 foot-pounds of torque. So that is the fastest one of the day. And yeah, just what Matt said really, like it looks the business under the bonnet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's big and girthy, unlike the others. Yeah, I think personally, so far, this one's my favourite, but obviously it comes at a big price tag, so.
It does, yeah, considering you're only a couple of horsepower up on the MST, which was the cheapest one. Yeah. Yeah, but if you want absolutely everything out of it, then this is the way to go so far, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, on to the next one, guys. Okay, so this is the penultimate air filter from Sprint Filter. 1,000, just a smidge under £1,300. They do claim a 20.5 horsepower gain with this, which is, you know, super bold.
It's big for an airbox, that.
Yeah, but I think it's a one-piece system, so let's unbox it and see how we're getting 20.5 horsepower gain. Okay, so we've just unboxed the Sprint filter. First impressions are it's super light. It doesn't even weigh a kilogram. This weighs 990 grams. Feels like it's made out of like paper mache. It
is really light, but it's high quality as well, isn't it? Properly nice carbon fibre. Like
a sort of raw carbon finish on this, isn't it?
Yeah, we've got two filter options as well. We've got one that's really straight through that I don't know if I'd like to run on the road, to be honest, and one that says for demanding conditions, which just looks like a regular air filter, to be fair, and then one silicon coupler, which is,
it's weird that that's blue,
bright blue.
Why is it blue, Sprint filter? Because you don't even make a blue GR Yaris, so
they have made up for it though with these instructions, haven't they? They are.
As a graphic designer, the illustrations here are 10 out of 10 top spec. I'm into those. And 4 stickers as well. Yeah. Happy days with stickers. Still no air freshener, but good. Yeah.
Yeah, keen to see what it makes.
We like it.
that's the Sprint filter fitted and dynoed. Fitting wise, it is super tight. I don't know how you'd fit it without scratching it a little bit, to be honest, because I have. But pretty simple. It's 3 pieces, uses the standard fittings for the MAF, and also a little clip holding it onto the sort of the front bumper here. The silicone, it's an easy thing to change, but I don't know why they didn't just change it to black, and maybe they will change it in the future. But
yeah, it'd be good if there was like an option on this one, because the blue just sticks out like a sore thumb. Like, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is, isn't it? But
yeah, there's nothing else blue in the bay, as you can see.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of power though, not quite as good as we thought. It's quite a similar design to the Eventuri, but yeah.
It's a little bit of a disappointment actually, because Sprint Filter made a bold claim that there's an increase of 20.5 horsepower, and we did run with this one with both filters in. So there's like a filter with, it's like a circular panel filter, one with not many very holes in, and then with a lot of holes in, and we did try them with both.
So this filter here is the one that it says is for harsher use. To be honest, this looks, I don't know if you can see, but you probably see my hand behind it. You can, it doesn't look like it's going to filter that much.
No.
And the race filter looks like it could barely stop a brick, to be honest. Like, it's really, I wouldn't be running that on the road.
No, and the best that we could muster up out of this system was 286 horsepower with 270.9 foot-pounds of torque. But it is the lightest of the bunch. It only weighs 990 grams, so under a kilogram. Yeah, and it, you know, it looks mega. It's dry, it's constructed from dry carbon. Yeah. You're going to pop your bonnet and everyone's going to rush around it, because it's super cool. But performance-wise, yeah, we're kind of disappointed for the money that it costs.
Yeah, I mean, dynos are a great thing, but they're not perfect. They might not be 100% representative of what happens on the road.
Take it with a pinch of salt.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, all we're doing is comparing these on the rollers. So perhaps this is something that would do better on the, you know, out in the open with more airflow over it all. Rather, I mean, we've got two big fans here, but maybe it'd be better in a real life scenario.
Yeah. The internet love a dyno. So.
Yeah, the Eventuri did well though. Like I was saying, it looks.
It did, and they've all been. It's all been fair back to back. But yeah, we're going to take that off now. Do our final intake system of the day, which is the GruppeM, and the most expensive. So let's whip this out, GruppeM on, we go again. Okay, so on to our 7th and final intake is the GruppeM, or GruppeM, or no one knows how to say it, so if you know, let us know in the comments. This retails at £1,435, so it's the most expensive filter that we're testing today. And there's a bold power claim of 24.7 horsepower, which is the highest claim.
It is a big claim, but if you come from a Honda background like me, they were always the best ones to go for the EP3 and DC5. So yeah, I think there's a lot to this as well in terms of bits and way entries into the airbox. It seems quite a funky looking thing, so let's get it out of the box. You can eat them though.
What?
You can, yeah, you can. Yeah, I'm sure they're just like starch, pretty much.
Matt has just said you can eat one.
I'm not going to. You can eat broccoli. I'm clearly not a fan of that. A little bit underdone, is it?
Okay, so we've just unboxed the GruppeM, and yeah, the quality is amazing. Lovely carbon finish, high gloss. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a one-piece MAF housing and pipe here, which is the first one we've seen. They've always been two-piece and sort of stuck on and bolted on, bonded on, whatever. The MAF is right by that 90 degree there, so I don't know what's that's, I'm sure they've tested it, but I don't know, I guess that goes on the other side there to sort of smooth that transition out. So we'll see how much of an effect that has. But yeah, loads of fittings, a couple of nice stickers. It's got a K&M filter that comes with them, like all the GruppeMs.
Colour instructions as well with diagrams, which is always useful.
Yeah, and an Allen key.
And an Allen key. None of the others are giving us an Allen key. MST gave us an air freshener. GruppeM gave us an Allen key.
Yeah, so we're set really, aren't we?
That's it. Let's bang it on the car.
Right, that's the GruppeM, or GruppeM, fitted, dynoed. Fits really, really nicely. The only thing I wasn't sure about when I was fitting it is the lack of seals. It's kind of hard to see, but underneath, you mount this silver plate, this aluminium plate, to the MAF housing here, and there's no seal between the two. I did double and triple check the instructions, but the seal goes on the MAF. It's an additional seal for the actual MAF. So there's no seal behind there. There's also no seal between the MAF housing and the airbox. And that's fine because it's before the MAF. But there is potential for air to come in after the MAF, which is not great. That's exactly what a MAF is for, to make sure that every bit of air that goes into the engine is accounted for. Other than that though, no fitting issues at all. It fits really, really nice. Uses some of the standard rubber bungs like the standard airbox does, and just pushes in really nicely. It looks quite big and it's got quite a lot going on, but it actually fits really nicely and it isn't near anything.
It's got two openings as well, so you've got air going in here and air coming in from like the top of the headlight as well. And it looks mint, this one does, like arguably the best finished carbon fibre that we've tested today. In regards to performance, it made 285.7 horsepower with 272.8 foot-pounds of torque. So yeah, the most expensive but not the best performer.
Also, what I do like about them is that they've taken a fair bit of time to make sure that the weaves pretty much line up. Like, you know, it's two separate pieces and they're quite funky shapes. So, but they still all go the same way, and it's really nice.
Okay, so that sums up our GR Yaris intake test. It's been a pretty successful day. We've tested all 7 intakes, lots of findings. Here's a graph, insert graph, of all the different figures that we found out on the dyno. What are your thoughts, Matt?
Well, it's great that they all made power. They all made at least 5 horsepower over standard.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. It's nice also that my favourite was the Sprint, but I do really like the Eventuri as well. Especially, to be honest, after fitting them both, my favourite is now the Eventuri.
Yeah.
But yeah, that did give the most,
Yes.
but so it should, given its price.
Yeah, so this was the 3rd highest priced intake, but this got the best numbers, didn't it?
Yeah.
It looks the best, it gave a good noise.
Yeah, it fits perfectly as well. There's a lot to it, there's a lot of parts to it,
Yeah.
but it really does fit well.
Yeah. If you're going for an enclosed one, then probably the Eventuri is
yeah,
the
that's
one
right.
we'd go for.
Yeah, so these are so sought after. If you're like me and you have a car for a year, maybe less, and you do a bit to it and then you're looking to recoup your money, these are a safe bet, aren't they? Really, really safe bet.
And these are designed in the UK as well,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
pretty good feature.
Yeah. Like I said, they all made power really. I say even the HKS, but even these, which are sort of known to be a bit of a heat soak,
Yeah.
really, with them being so open to the elements, that additional carbon heat shield really did
Yeah.
help it. And it
looks
sounds
stunning,
fantastic.
doesn't it?
Yeah, it
Like
looks
it's-
great and sounds great. But I think the surprise of the day really is the MST.
Definitely.
It's the cheapest one here. It gave us 2 horsepower less than the Eventuri for what? Best part of 900 quid less?
Yeah, I mean, this retails at £409, and bang for your buck.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong for this, can you? If you want a cheap intake that's going to give you good performance, going to look good under your bonnet,
sound great as well.
sounds good, then, and I mean, I can't look past it, the air freshener.
Yeah, and you get an air freshener.
Air freshener. There was a keyring as well,
Yeah.
and stickers, so.
Yeah, and like I said at the start of the video, there is another chap called Tino that's done a really detailed fitting guide for these MSTs. I imagine he's going to feel pretty smug knowing that we went through all of these to find out that this is almost the best, you know. So yeah, I'd be hard pressed to choose any of the others over that unless money was less of an object, really.
Yeah. And in regards to fitting, I guess fitting took no more than 45 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, I think this one was the first one we fitted, and that was an hour, including removing the standard airbox and the awkward pipe on the back of the engine there. All the others were probably about 25 minutes once the actual original airbox is out. And the ones like the GruppeM and whichever one, and the HKS, the ones that use the standard bits, and the Eventuri as well, they're quite quick.
Yeah.
There's not too much to do there really.
Yeah, you shouldn't be paying a garage any more than an hour's labour to be fitting these parts, no matter which one you're having.
No, it's not bad at all. And they're all doable on their own. They've all got instructions, that, even the ones from other countries like the HKS come with great instructions.
Yeah.
And like I say, if there's not them in the box, you'll find them on YouTube. And lastly, massive thanks to Cyvex for making the powertrain control module, because it was literally fit and forget. We put it on, it did exactly what it said, handbrake on, and it just disconnected the rear diff, so it meant we could test it again and again and again without going into any stupid modes or worrying about where the power was being sent. If you're dynoing your car very often, it's a must really, isn't it?
Or if you're tuning GR Yaris on a regular, these are like well worth investing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
You just pop your rear seat out, you don't even have to take any other trim panels out. That's it, 2 plugs, and it just works like standard. The car doesn't know any better, it just knows that you've got your handbrake on.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you can do burnout, so.
You can do burnouts, yeah.
You want to see Matt do a burnout? I do.
No, not at today's petrol prices.
So yeah, that pretty much sums up this video. Thank you to Matt for spending the day with us. If you've not already seen our exhaust test, then make sure you check that out. That's a good one to watch. As always, check us out on socials here. Nice touch there. Website for all your GR Yaris parts, and we'll see you in the next one.